Hello, everybody, and welcome to Curtis's Podcast Network. I'm the host of the channel. My name is Curtis Brown, and thank you for joining us on this AFC South show, number 128. We're going to be talking everything we possibly can about the Week 13 ahead for the AFC South. So if you're a Colts, Titans, Jags, or a Texans fan, you've come to the right spot. We're growing. We're at 399 subs. We're trying to get to our next small goal is 420 for obvious reasons. And then our big goal is still 1,000. We'd like to reach that monetization level. So go ahead, help us do that. Let's get 25 likes on this episode for a preview. That's pretty solid. And with me as always, our resident Jaguars fan, Isaiah, aka Duval's finest, aka the Glitter Kitty Tamer, aka. All right. So with us as well, our resident wow, almost did it again. Our resident Colts fan. Jeff Steckel, our resident Colts fan. Speak soft, carry a big steck is the motto. And Jeff, can people find you on social media? Is that a thing?
I don't think I have it listed on there. Some of my gamer tags, though.
Oh, okay. Well, he's our resident Colts fan, and he's going to be talking all about the Colts this evening. So let's get into it. I'm, of course, the Texans fan. We don't have our resident Titans fan here this evening, but that's fine. We're gonna fill in. We're gonna fill in admirably because that's what we do. Titans suck.
And they're covered.
And complete. So let's lead off here with that aforementioned Titans game. They are playing division rival Indianapolis Colts. Jeff, let's talk about your Colts first, and then we'll get into the Titans.
Coming off, didn't lose in November. Hopefully they keep that going. We got the number 7 seed. So, of course, I came into the season hoping that they would be, in playoff contention, but realistically, I think I said like 6 games was probably 6-7 games was I think was the ceiling is what I put it at. So that they're already there is pretty awesome, especially without their QB1. So I'm happy with how it's going. And this last week I picked most of the games correctly. I'm kind of tooting my own horn. It seems like this offensive line is kind of getting back to full strength. Ryan Kelly practiced full the last couple of days. Still trying to come back from the concussion, but that bodes pretty well. Ogletree practiced fully. Bernard Raymond's full the last couple of days. Buckner, I feel like he's been limited, but I'm not too worried about him. It seems like even if he doesn't practice, he still plays. Of course, Taylor broke his thumb and underwent surgery, so he'll be out 1 week, maybe 3 weeks top, somewhere in there. And I don't know what the hell's going on with Juju Brents' quad, but he still isn't practicing. They need him. But I swear to God, if I see Baker get burned one more time by anything, I'm going to lose my shit. But on the opposite side, Jalen Jones has been pretty phenomenal, especially that he was taken in the 7th round. Just having Juju Brents back would be awesome. I hope he logs a practice and is able to suit up. But he even had the bye week, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But the Colts defense has been a lot better than they were. There was a 3-week stretch there; they were pretty terrible. But they've gotten a lot better. They've taken the ball. I think they have like 7 or 8 takeaways the last few games and 15 sacks. So they've been getting after it, man. And that bodes pretty well against the Titans. Their offensive line is kind of a turnstile at times. So I feel like that's just got to continue. It's kind of a big loss to Grover Stewart. I think this is his last week on a suspension. So he'll be very welcome back, I believe, next week. But they've been kind of susceptible to the run, which makes me nervous with Derrick Henry, but apparently the Titans don't know how to use him. So
I heard a stat that since Grover Stewart's been out, the Colts defense has allowed 140 rushing yards a game on average.
Sounds about right. But that's been, it seems like they've been doing a lot of bending, not breaking. Like they force a field goal in their own territory.
Yeah.
buckling down when they needed to. Hopefully they just don't allow Henry to get going, and they just, they keep bringing like 4. I hope they, put some more pressure on Will Levis. Don't let him get comfortable. I think that's they have 15 sacks. They need to keep. Hopefully they bring it up to 20, 21 this week. Offensively, it's a little bit of a blow with Taylor, but Zach Moss has been more than admirable filling in for him. If he missed week 1, and he probably would have been the league rushing leader, going into Jonathan Taylor's return. So he's been really good. I think he had a few pretty good runs against Tampa last week. So I don't think it's. I mean, it's a little bit of a blow, but Zach Moss is more than capable, and especially if we get Kelly back, Ryman stays healthy. That offensive line is pretty solid.
Yeah.
So I'd still say run the freaking ball. I think last week there was, I said they needed to do that, and I think their first drive they passed like 9 times and rushed once. And I think I texted you guys and I was pretty pissed about that. And I'm like, why the fuck?
Yeah.
And they weren't like, there's a few incompletions, and it's not like it was working that great for them to keep passing. It was just, it's like you're a run team. You have Minshew. He should only be passing it like 15, 20 times. So, and that's what they did against the Titans in their first meeting. They stole their game plan and they pounded it at him, controlled the clock, and they shut Henry down. They're gonna have to do the same thing. So, but
is there anything? I was going to say, is there anything that the Titans offer at this point that I don't know, maybe gives you a little bit of like, all right, they could win?
Again, if they feed Henry and they do it successfully, that's always been my recipe for them. If they're able to get him 20, 30 carries, and it's working, and their defensive line, they can get after it. So if they're able to get in the backfield and force Minshew into his Matt Ryan-esque fumbles, they do have a shot at winning. But I don't think the Colts almost every game have put up 20 plus. So if the Colts do that, I don't see the Titans winning. They've got to keep the score low.
Yeah.
But I do see Indianapolis walking away with like 24-16. I call it like an 8-point game.
Okay. Isaiah, you want to talk about the Colts?
I mean, they suck, but no.
Hey, Titans suck, man. You know better.
I mean, we got the broom on you, and we're gonna get the broom on them. So I mean, it doesn't really matter.
We're gonna get the broom on them too. Don't worry about it.
Who hasn't? But yeah, no. It sucks having Jonathan Taylor go down. But hopefully that means that they'll actually utilize Zach Moss like they should have been the whole time. Are the linebackers going to be healthy this game? I know Franklin keeps getting a little banged up, but not missing. Yeah. He's not missing a bunch.
He wasn't on the report.
So. Okay, that's good.
And I didn't even mention him. Fucking Harrison came off the practice squad and got a pick as a linebacker. So that was nice. Basically every linebacker that's been in there instead of Shaq has outproduced him.
Hey, oh yeah, but hopefully they can keep the ball on the ground. Not Minshew's ball on the ground. That's the different type of ball on the ground. But if they can keep the ball on the ground with Zach Moss and let him do his thing, I actually picked up Josh Downs in one of my leagues, actually in our league with everybody, because I think that the Titans secondary poses a good soft spot for Josh Downs to find a couple and have a big game.
So I'm starting to.
Yeah. So if that happens, that'd be great. I think the Titans defense really isn't great. Their front seven is not playing as well against the run as they have been in the past. Their back end is destroyed. They should be able to put up some good points on them. And like you said, they've scored over 20 every game. I mean, I could see this game getting out of hand. I could see it being close. I could see the Titans winning. Pretty sure I did pick Indianapolis though, if I'm not mistaken. I think
we all did.
I'd say I'll give him 28. 28-14.
Okay. The over-under on this game is 42.5. So
I'm basically at it.
Yeah, you're pushing again.
again. And I was basically right the last time, just backwards.
Yeah. I'll talk a little bit about the Colts, and then we'll kind of flip it into the Titans. I'll try to do it as seamlessly as possible, but shit's weird. The Colts, they're hot right now. They're playing complimentary football. They're winning ugly football games. It seems as though Steichen, who has had an up and down year with play calling and situational football, has not necessarily completely righted the ship, but the ship is going in that direction. It's listing lazily to the right direction. I think the Colts, if they had QB1, would be potentially a threat, for an upset if they make the playoffs. I don't know that Gardner Minshew instills a whole lot of confidence in anybody except for Blake Bellamy. So
best quarterback in the South.
The Colts can run the ball like nobody's damn business, even without Jonathan Taylor. I think the Colts have a really good shot at winning this game. It's going to come down to them not beating themselves. It's going to come down to Gardner Minshew making the right reads instead of trying to squeeze the ball into tight windows. Like Isaiah mentioned, the Titans defense is not it. It's not even remotely it. They play awful. They play at times it's almost like their defense is like, not today.
I know that Shaq Griffin's available, right?
Oh no, he got scooped up by the
Panthers.
Panthers.
Scooped up by the Panthers.
Oh, sorry.
The trash shoot of Jaguars players. Like I think they have 4 former Jags on the team right now.
Yep.
That's fucking funny.
So
it just went from bad to worse.
Yeah, for real. With the Titans, I think the way to win for the Titans is something that we have all hammered many, many, many times. And most Titans fans are like, why aren't we doing this? It's giving the ball to Derrick Henry. Simple as that. You got to run the fucking ball. If Derrick Henry reaches 20 touches on the ground, there's a good chance the Titans are going to end up winning that game. It's like 18 to 20 range. Last week, 18 carries, 77 yards, I think, 76, 2 touchdowns on the ground. And Derrick Henry now becomes one of, I can't even remember how many players to reach 9,000 career yards. But he might be the last 10,000-yard rusher, if you really think about it. Because most other teams are running back by committee. And then, even with the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, who's proven to be a solid running back, they were, on the fence about bringing him back. So I think we're witnessing what could be the end of like a long lineage of great running backs, just generally in the NFL. And it's kind of weird that they're not using him that well. They're splitting time with him and Tajay Spears. I'm not a huge fan of the way Tim Kelly's been calling the offense. You've really got to get Will Levis in quick throws. You got to get him in situations where he can just 3-step drop, release the ball on a slant route, hit an out route, hit a hot route, something crossing the middle of the field.
Did you see the Gardner Minshew offense?
Yeah, that would be perfect. You got to get the ball out quick. Your offensive line is garbage, and you know that. You've been knowing that. It's week 13. Maybe start applying that knowledge. You know what I mean? You might have more wins by now. I have the Colts winning this game, and I have them winning in a low-scoring affair, 21-10. So that's a clean sweep for the Colts taking this victory. We didn't get Blake's picks this week, but I imagine he, just to keep faith, he would have probably chosen the Colts. You guys have any more Colts Titans comments?
Yeah. You mentioned something at the beginning of your segment about play calling, and sometimes I love what Steichen does and some of the creative shit that he does. Like you'll run out the offense and then switch out and run out the field goal team or something, or the punting team, or flip that out and make them call a timeout. He does weird shit like that sometimes, and I dig it. And this last week against Tampa, he called a great 4th-and-1 play, and Minshew sold the shit out of that 4th down. It was like everyone in the building knew it was a run, and he keeps it and does a little dunk off the Mo. It was a beautiful play. It was well done, well executed. And then, I have a feeling why they did it. Matt Gay missed I think it was like 58 or 9-yarder, and it had plenty of leg, and it doinked off the left upright. Like it was just off. And it was, I think the ball was at like the 35 or 38 or something like that. It was 4th and 6, and he goes for it on like a 2-yard pass to Downs that had no chance of getting the first down. It's just like, what? Why Matt Gay's the highest paid kicker in the league. Why wouldn't you trot him out there again? There are some things that I'm just irritated with, but like, take the 3 and move on, man.
Yeah, I've been seeing that's kind of a growing trend as the analytics have been creeping into offensive play calling and special teams use. And it's really affecting the over-unders. A lot less scoring than usual, I feel like. But let's shift gears here. Let's go to the Denver Broncos Texans game. Denver is traveling to Houston, where Houston is a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under 47.5. Okay. I'm going to hit the injury report real quick. Okay. So did not participate first. Sheldon Rankins and Dalton Schultz have not participated as of today in practice. Limited participants, Noah Brown, who's working his way back from an injury. Tank Dell was limited. And then full participants, George Fant, Laramie Tunsil, Jimmy Ward, Jake Hansen, and C.J. Stroud, who's dealing with a thigh injury. For the Broncos, Jerry Jeudy was a limited participant. Will Lutz, the kicker. Marvin Mims was limited. Baron Browning, the linebacker, was full participant. Chris Manhertz and Mike Purcell were on non-injury related rest and did not participate today. And then Damari Mathis was limited participation at practice Wednesday. With that being said, there are 2 transactions that I think mean something to the Houston Texans fan base. Number 1, we claimed off of waivers former Philadelphia Eagles edge rusher and former Tennessee Volunteer Derek Barnett. He's not been the most productive, but he's been a rotational player for them. At times, he's had some pretty solid seasons, but injuries have kind of kept him in check in that regard. I think he'll add a little bit more value to the edge rushing room, and I think he might be able to complement Will Anderson and Jonathan Grenard a little bit better than some of the other guys have been. The second move, which, as we mentioned earlier, Shaquille Griffin is now a Carolina Panther. Thank God. After we had waived him, I think Tuesday. I think that was in conjunction with a bunch of other moves, including signing Derek Barnett from the waivers. Good move all the way around. Shaq is now in Carolina, and I can't be happier about that. Somewhere on another Texans-related podcast, there's somebody bitching and complaining about that. But your boy had the foresight to be like, he's not playing that well. Let's ditch him. I don't know. Some people know football. Some people just talk about numbers. So anyway, the Texans have a very hard task ahead of them with the Denver Broncos, and it's not necessarily something you thought you would say at the beginning of the season, especially probably around week 6 or 7 when this Broncos team was 1-5. They have since turned it all the way around and have tied for the longest win streak in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles at 5 straight wins. This Broncos team is playing hot. Their defense is playing amazing. This is going to be a challenge in every stretch of the imagination for the Texans. Bobby Slowick is going to have to he's going to have to call plays in probably the best fashion he's done all year just to get the ball down the field. CJ Stroud is going to be under duress, and we're going to need the ball out of his hands so that we don't exacerbate his thigh injury.
You're gonna get hypnotized.
I just do what?
Gonna get hypnotized.
Yeah, got it. Titus Howard is on season-ending IR with an injury, so that is yet another offensive lineman down. And now we will be bringing Juice Scruggs to play left guard. A lot of people were upset with the fact that Titus Howard was ever asked to play guard. But when Fant is playing the way he was, which, by the way, he was the highest rated offensive lineman for the Texans last week in pass protection, at least, that says something. Titus Howard had one season of above average play, and we signed into a 3-year, $56 million extension. Dumb move, in my opinion. Questionable at the very least. The Texans have to get CJ Stroud going, and they have to be able to burn that clock a little bit with the running game. Damian Pierce and Devin Singletary have to get going. But with this hodgepodge offensive line, I see nothing but issues doing that. I do have the Texans winning, again, because I'm a homer. But if they win, it's because they played a perfect game. They did not let the situation of the hot streak that the Broncos are on overwhelm them. They didn't let the defense overwhelm them. The players who were available show up and play lights out. That's how you have to win this game. Running the ball, keeping the very middling offense of the Denver Broncos on the sidelines, and you score points, as many points as you possibly can. Because the Broncos are not putting up a lot of points. They're restricting the other team from putting up a lot of points, and they're beating teams by kicking hella field goals with Will Lutz. Russell Wilson is definitely better this season than he was last season. It's got to be something to do with Sean Payton. I can't sit here and say that it's got nothing to do with the man.
Yeah, and Nathaniel Hackett.
And Nathaniel Hackett's in a different state now. But
No, I'm saying it was, yeah.
Well, yeah, being held back by the man.
Yeah.
So this is a different Broncos team. This is a team that now has a couple different running backs that they can go to. Courtland Sutton has been playing lights out football in the most clutch moments of every game and during this winning streak. So, I mean, their Broncos are quite formidable right now. And as a Texans fan, I'm worried about them. I'm worried that the defense of the Houston Texans is not going to be able to stop the run like we need to, especially if Sheldon Rankins doesn't play. I got it. Like I said, I'm a homer, so I got the Texans winning. It's going to be 27-17. It's my guess here. And then I'll open it up to you guys.
I think I took the Broncos.
Yeah.
And I'll stand by that. The Browns have one of the better, if not one of the best, I guess, ranked defenses. And Broncos dropped 29 on them. In fact, the Broncos have scored 20 plus in the last 4 games. Which, I mean, that's not easy to do, especially when you're the same team that, had a 70 burger dropped on you, and it seemed like they finally turned a corner. And I don't know if it's all Russell Wilson, but he's definitely playing better. He looks, I guess, a little more loose, kind of getting back to what he was doing in Seattle. Like he's, kind of getting out on, using his legs a little bit more. And it almost looked like, last year with Hackett that they were trying to make him like just a quarterback or pocket passer. And that's just never really been Russell Wilson. So it seems like, Sean Payton's kind of, shifted back. Broncos have had some good games, offensively, defensively. So is CJ Stroud. Like, man, this has the potential to be one of those weird, it could be high scoring, it could be, one of those bizarre,
12-9 games.
12-9 games. Like just all field goals. I mean, like the Colts did to the Broncos last year. It has the makings to be either one of those, but I think the Broncos will. I'm gonna say like 24-21 Broncos.
28-24?
24-21.
Oh, sorry.
Like,
I got that. 24,
or like you said, it could be like 9-6. It just,
yeah. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yay, that one Super Bowl with the Patriots and Rams.
So terrible.
That's under, Jeff. Mine is also under.
Oh yeah, and Cortland Sutton's been playing some good ball too.
Yeah, no, he's been playing very well.
Yeah.
He's definitely been the red zone target the last several weeks.
For sure.
Stingley's, I don't know where Stingley's going to be. Lately, they've been taking the number 2 and Jalen Petrie. So Steven Nelson and Jalen Petrie have been doubling up on whatever the number 2 wide receiver is. And then Stingley's been on an island with the number 1. I mean, yeah. Isaiah?
Yeah, I mean, with this game, I did pick the Broncos to win. They're really hot right now, like you guys have mentioned already. Cortland Sutton's been going off. He's been a big target for them. Russell Wilson does look a lot more like Russell Wilson. He's able to move around. He's able to get active, whereas before they had him sitting in the pocket. Javonte Williams hasn't looked amazing this season,
No.
but he has looked at least better lately. But, I mean, still not saying much. I do think, though, potentially if the Texans can get some good pressure on them and keep the run game, slowed down and keep Wilson in the pocket, they could definitely make some noise in this game. You know what I mean? If they win this game, they're still officially in the hunt, like strongly in the hunt. If they lose this game, that puts them even further back, out of the race, because then the Broncos officially jump them. And, it's just one of those things where this is a big game for both teams. And if the Broncos win this game, they're like strongly in the hunt for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Both teams, this could be playoff implications. Sean Payton is a more experienced coach than DeMeco Ryans. And I do think as of right now, DeMeco's had a great first year. They're making good adjustments. They're playing good ball. Tank Dell was a huge pickup, like I've said before. CJ Stroud's been playing amazing. Hopefully you guys can sustain, no more injuries to the offensive line for a little bit. But, in this game, I do think the Broncos have a more complete team right now. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means, but the Broncos just super hot right now. I would say I go 21-14 Broncos.
Good. That's squarely under as well. Yeah, I mean, look, realistically, this game could go either way, but like it's just a matter of which version of the Texans show up. Like if we can get the effort from, I don't know, like the Buccaneers and who did we play after that? The Buccaneers Bengals game. If we can get that kind of effort, we're going to walk out with a W. But if we get Carolina Panthers effort, yeah, we're going to be having a world of hurt come Monday morning.
I still can't believe the Texans lost that game.
It's because there was like a lot of injuries, like a lot of people didn't play that week. But yeah, I mean, it just comes down to the defense being ready to play, because I think for the Texans to win, the defense has got to probably get a score on the board. Really kind of draw blood from a turnover. Be nice. Let's shift now to the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Jacksonville. And of course, this is a Bengals team without Joey B, without Joe Cool, which, by the way, you guys mocked me for calling him that, but I've heard him called Joe Cool like 1,000 times now on TV.
You're crazy.
Craziness.
Yeah. Shaq Griffin's good too, huh?
I bet you think that. You are a Texans fan. It would make sense. I'm sure you're seething over there over the loss of your number one corner.
Why don't they release him?
No. Chubby Brown Bear is going to be upset. No.
Oh, God. Anyway, 8.5-point favorites for the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game. 38.5 over under. Isaiah, take it away.
So Jacksonville will be wearing all black.
Ooh, minty.
The Bengals will be wearing all white.
Oh,
So it'll be a little black cat on white cat fight.
This
But
is the racist fight.
Unfortunately for them, the black cats are better. No Joe Chili, as you call him. No Joe Chili. I was supposed to go to this game with my stepdad. He's a big LSU fan, so he's a big Bengals fan because of Joey B. He's really a Saints fan, but he just loves Joey B.
Yeah.
And then Joey B got hurt, and I was like, "Hey, do you still want to go?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll still go." And like 2 days ago, he was like, "Hey, if you find somebody else to go with you, I won't be upset." Blah blah blah. My Lance is okay. Like, I'll sell the tickets. It's fine. So my cousin and his dad will be going in my place. Because it's just not worth it for me. I already canceled my Airbnb and everything. When my stepdad was supposed to go with me, so just whole thing. But yeah, I mean, what can I say? Their backup quarterback. I mean, he didn't look good against the Steelers, who are honestly not that good. People praise their defense like it's something, but it's really not. Not as good as they say. Anyways, it's gonna be a good game. I think Jacksonville's gonna drop 30 plus points on them. I think this is going to be another week where we just don't take our foot off the gas. Because I think at this point we've kind of realized when you take your foot off the gas, you lose games, or at least you get close to losing them. The defense has been playing really well. Josh Allen, I think, is going to get at least 2 sacks this game. He's going to keep on pushing those numbers up. He's going to get a fat paycheck at the end of the season. Fun statistic. People like to talk shit about Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen both have over 30 pressures this season, and they're the only duo in the league to have over 30 pressures on the same team. Just because the sack numbers don't reflect doesn't mean people aren't productive in the pass rush game. Run defense has still been solid. I think we're still top 3, top 4 in run defense. Passing defense, we lit up a lot of yards, but it is what it is. We're still winning games. I think it's gonna be an interesting one. Again, I don't know much about that quarterback except for the one game he played last week. But I think Jacksonville's gonna come in here and just clean house with them. I'm not concerned about it really at all. Their defense has been awful. They're the ranked, I think, 29th or 30th versus tight ends. And we've got a top 5 tight end, in my opinion, receiving tight end, I should say. So I think Evan Ingram's going to have a big day. I think Calvin Ridley can have another big day. Zay Jones is supposed to come back and play again. And whenever Zay Jones is on the field, Calvin Ridley flourishes, because then they have to account for Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, and Calvin Ridley, and they can't just put 2 or 3 people on Christian Kirk all the time. ETN is currently questionable with a rib injury. He did come out of last game. He went back in, though, and continued to play versus the Texans, just more on a limited basis. D'Ernest Johnson, he played really well against the Texans, and he has played really well when he's come in every game. Tank Bigsby had a 6-yard run. I think that was the only carry he had. We're down Cam Robinson for 4 to 6 weeks, I believe, or 3 to 4 weeks, something like that. Honestly, we're better when he's off the field. Ezra Cleveland is a monster in the run game. On that screen to D'Ernest Johnson, he was 40 yards down the field running, blocking people, blocked 2 guys. Walker Little back out to left tackle. Our offensive line is just more complete now, in my opinion. Hate to see a guy like Cam get hurt. He's a great team, guy, but Walker Little's the better left tackle, and anybody who argues against that can go fuck themselves. I don't care what you have to say about it. And you probably were mad that we cut Shaq Griffin, just like the Texans fans that are mad right now. So you just don't know ball. Because I've guessed the score right for a game. Have you? Probably not. It should be good for us. Should be a blowout. Honestly, if they're within 10 points of us, it's because we probably let our foot off the gas and let them come back in it. I'm going 30, 34, 34-10.
Sheesh.
I think it's gonna be a big win.
And that's over.
Of course, it's over. Jacksonville's fucking them.
Jags by 40.
Yep. And just not to brag on myself, but Jeff may have only missed 2, but I'm still in first in the pick'em. So Who cares? But no, I'm excited for the game, though. I think it's going to be a good one. But that's really all I have to say about it at this point in time.
Okay. Jeff?
Yeah, what was the over-under on this game?
Over under 38.5 points, according to
definitely take the over. And Jags might do it by themselves.
Yeah.
Without Burrow, man. I mean, I know they've got a lot of receiving weapons, but that quarterback didn't look great. Their offensive line is fucking horrible still. Their defense is suspect. Unless if they play like out of their minds, like just career games across their defense, I just don't see any way that they could keep up with what the Jags have on offense and their defense. They get after quarterbacks, so and their turnover machines. I just don't really see a path to the Bengals winning this game. Like Isaiah said, the score might be closer if they just kind of let off the gas at the end. So it could.
Yeah.
Say like. Just because of that, I'll say something like 35-17 or something like that. Like I just don't see it being close.
Okay. I feel like that's pretty valid. I'm going to choose the under on this one.
Oh.
I think the Jags are going to control this game bell to bell, and it's going to be rather rough for the Cincinnati Bengals. I have them winning 27-6 over the Bengals because I think the defense for the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to key on Joe Mixon. And then obviously the young quarterback is going to be looking for a lot of short routes. I think the defense will put the clamps on him, and they'll only get a couple field goals to get on the scoreboard in general. 27-6. There's just no way that the Bengals come to Jacksonville on primetime football and put the Jags away. Like, I get it, but no, there's just no shot. There would have to be like a comet would have to hit the stadium or something, and only the Bengals players survive. That's the only way I see them winning.
Yeah, I did think it was going to be 27-10, but then I looked at my crystal ball and it told me there was going to be a defensive touchdown off a strip sack fumble. So, it put us up to 34-10.
Okay.
Did you run a Madden sim or what?
No Madden sim. That's just
1,000 simulation.
All up here.
Kind of do it like what was that Deadliest Warrior? Did you guys ever watch that?
Yes.
Dude, Deadliest Warrior was where it's at. It was basically like, let's put a Roman centurion versus a guy from Sparta, the Spartan warrior. And they would like test out the different ranged weapons and the melee weapons and all this different stuff, and then run a simulation like 10,000 times to see who would really win in a fight.
And they would show the simulation. It was dope.
It was dope. If you don't know what that is, you're probably too young, but grow up.
I'm 23. I feel like I'm younger than most of our viewership.
I mean, that's truth, but whatever.
Average farm
remembers. Okay. There's just no shot for the Bengals here. Joe Mixon would have to literally put the team on his back.
And he might be mixing it up, but he's not doing it that good.
No. Well, you guys got any more comments on the AFC South, generally speaking, or the Jags game?
Yeah. If you had said that all three of us would be in playoff contention right now, I mean, the Texans, they don't have a seed, do they? Because we beat them, but they're like in the hunt, right?
They're in the hunt.
We're in the hunt, yeah.
Okay. So if you had said that two of us would be in like if the season ended today in the playoffs and the Texans would be like a game out, I would have said you were fucking hot. But and this AFC South has turned it around, except the Titans because they suck.
Because it was never the Titans. That's why.
I think I'd heard that before.
Yeah, somewhere.
I don't know where I'd heard that, but it makes sense. I was going to do something weird, but now we're good. I think this is a good natural. Oh, God. I think this is a good natural end here. Boys, do you have any final comments at all? I know I just kind of asked that, but Isaiah?
No,
Okay.
Cool.
I think it's gonna be a good weekend for the Jaguars, and we're gonna put ourselves even further ahead and just keep on a schmoving.
Hell yeah. Well, folks, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button. 25 like goal on this episode. Please help us hit that mark. So if you don't see the thumb like all lit up and white, the thumbs up, hit it. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. 420 is our next small incremental goal for obvious reasons. And if you could help us get there, that'd be great. Don't forget
1K.
to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. If you've got a Texans, Jags, Colts, or Titans fan in your life, share us with them. During the
Yeah.
off season, we're going to have individual podcasts for each one of us: the Texans, Titans, Jags, and Colts. So eventually, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But with that being said, folks, be good people. Thank you guys for your time. Peace.